And then remind them when we get started that we do want it to be a little bit interactive. Thanks.
Perfect. Perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amin, and I'm an account executive at Insight Canada. On behalf of Insight, I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us today. We know this was supposed to be a live session in our office, and this is just an opportunity to tell you that when the situation will be better, we want to see you all in our office for another event maybe in the future. So thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. So we're really happy to have you with us today for our securing the remote workforce with Insight Canada and Microsoft. So today, in the agenda, we will be having a little presentation about Insight. We know you know us, but we just want to let you know who we are today. After that, our partner Jared from Microsoft, he's a senior product manager at Microsoft, will be giving a presentation about Microsoft security. And right after that, my teammate Ryan Schellenberg, who's the manager of the technical solutions at Insight, will be giving you a live demo about Microsoft security as well. Perfect. So if you're here today, it means you know Insight. But just to give you a quick overview of what our values are, we live by these values day in and day out. So hunger, heart, and harmony are really a part of Insight and of what we do in a daily basis. We really want to be your trusted advisor. We want to build meaningful connections to help your business run smarter. So we're your partner that can introduce you to the manufacturers, to the distributors that can help you with all the challenges. And we really want to use our core values to be able to help you with all your challenges as they arise. Insight today is in Canada, a really big partner. Through some acquisitions, we became very large in terms of presence. We're in 6 cities in Canada. We have over 305,000 hardware and software partners, and we're Microsoft's #1 partner in the world. We know it's a Microsoft. We know it's a Microsoft webinar today, but we just want to let you know that we're also a Cisco Gold partner. So just to show you the relationship that we have with multiple other vendors out there. So Insight has a new strategy to go to market. So we really want to distinguish ourselves with 4 pillars. We started with supply chain optimization. Supply chain optimization is our first practice where we want to bring hardware and software to you at the best price possible, the fastest way possible. We really want to make sure that your supply chain is optimized so that you can have the material that you need to be able to work efficiently. We also have today in the subject, we will be talking about connected workforce. Connected workforce is really all the solution areas that surround your user who's in the field, who's bringing revenue to your company. We really want to make sure that this user has everything to be equipped, to be able to be productive, to be able to work securely, and to be able to be efficient. Our third solution area is really the cloud and data center transformation. So this is all the backend application, VMs, if you're in the cloud, if you're on-prem, if you have a hybrid infrastructure like a lot of clients do. We have all the resources to be able to help you transform and manage your data center. So we have all the teams to help you with that. And our fourth solution area is really digital innovation. Digital innovation is part of one of our newest addition to the portfolio. It's something that we can help you with, and we do really well. If you need to create an application, transform an application, move an application to the cloud, and many other solutions just like BI for Microsoft. If you have any challenges, anything with all these four solution areas, feel free to reach out to your rep at Insight, and we can help you with all of these. So for today, I really want to introduce Jared. Jared will be the next speaker. He's coming from Microsoft to be helping us with this webinar. We're really happy to have him. And without further ado, Jared, I'll give you the floor.
Hey, thanks, Amin. Hopefully you guys can hear me, and thanks very much to those on the phone joining in these interesting times. Certainly a timely webcast in progress here. So thank you very much, and thank you very much to the Insight team for inviting me. Over the next 10 minutes or so, I'll take you through what Microsoft security looks like at a really high level. This isn't going to get necessarily deeply into specific solutions, but rather our overall security posture and position that underlies all of the solutions and products that Insight can help you with. And again, this partnership is so important to Microsoft. You know, we deliver the technology to Insight, and Insight makes it theirs, and certainly a great partnership. So, you know, I want to stress that, and thank you for that. Of course, as we set context now, everyone is really in the technology business. Even if you're selling widgets, somewhere you have technology running your business, back end, front end, and operational, etc. Conventional security tools have really not kept pace. You know, this isn't 2002 anymore, where a free antivirus will be sufficient. Security professionals alone, you know, can't fill the gap. I'm certainly pushing my kids into cybersecurity, tremendous opportunities there, and we just can't keep up. So it's important that we have partners like Insight that can maximize the tools that are built into Office and Microsoft 365 that offers our customers, of course, that peace of mind. And regulatory requirements and costs are increasing. Of course, we have to keep pace with the solutions and be mindful of what our customers can afford and make sure they're maximizing every dollar and putting every effort into building their business and making sure that Insight and Microsoft keep them secure. Now, when we go into our customer environments, and I think Ryan and the team on the phone will say, this is what it looks like, a whole bunch of disparate stuff, home offices. Of course, we're all working today in our home offices for the most part. We have BYOD, company-owned devices, customer devices. You know, the mishmash never ends. And how do we bring it all together in one cohesive cloud that Microsoft and Insight can help you manage and ensure that all of those endpoints are secure and everything in between? So we have a unique approach at Microsoft. It's really about three pillars: built-in experiences that work across platforms, whether that's Dynamics, Azure, Microsoft 365, and some of our competitive and companion solutions in market. AI is at the heart of all this, and automation to help secure our collective future. We spend over $1 billion a year on security R&D, more than any other organization in the world, and a lot of that is building that future-looking AI and machine learning technology that gets ahead of the threats that we currently see. And finally, it's integrated across people, devices, apps, and data. Some of the things I think Ryan will show you, some of the things that Insight can bring down to our customers is that one holistic view that the Microsoft 365 stack offers. If you have any questions, again, feel free to type them in the Q&A, and we'll get to them either now or later, but certainly this can be interactive. Now, moving forward, we talk about those built-in experiences that work across platforms. It's absolutely important to understand that we know that our customers have mixed environments. It's what we expect. It's what Insight does. But it's critical that security stays in the background, providing built-in experiences that enable users to grow their business anywhere, again, on any platform and any device. A Forrester survey of security decision makers found that with modern tools, 86% of enterprises improve their customers' experiences and 77% streamline their business processes. So again, we continue to raise the bar in that effort. For example, we created built-in multi-factor authentication now into that one platform, passwordless sign-on, and single sign-on for more than one application. So again, having all of that security in the background that Insight can help you manage really provides your end user experience a much better, seamless experience. AI and automation to secure our future. You know, we talked a little bit about the machine learning and the signals that we get, trillions of signals from our services every day that enable us to look for patterns and get ahead of them. And again, securing our collective future, allowing our customers to do what they do best and leaving their technology and security to Insight and Microsoft. And we talked a little bit before about integrated across people, devices, apps, and data. We're agnostic when it comes to those things. We do work across all point solutions for the most part. We know that 80%, over 80% of organizations that consolidate the security portfolio also diminish their breach risk. So, you know, there's this idea that Microsoft and Insight can secure your endpoints and infrastructure, but we also know that many organizations have up to 63 security vendors in-house. So by going across an integrated platform, it allows our customers to have a much better experience, streamlined experience. It offers them quite often opportunities to save money and redirect that money into critical business infrastructure and other areas of the business. And from a management perspective, it's far easier for our customers to manage one pane of glass, if you will. And we're really proud that we're security leaders in 5 Gartner Magic Quadrants, from access management through Azure Active Directory and other tools, cloud access security brokers, archiving, extremely important, endpoint protection platforms, that's Intune and SCCM, all now branded as Microsoft Endpoint Solutions, and those unifying endpoint management tools. So, you know, we can feel good, and our customers should feel good that we do have leadership positions in many of the security areas that our customers are most interested in, and that Insight can help manage. At the end of the day, there's really 4 pillars that speak to that. Identity and access management. Who is accessing your data? Where are they? What can they access? Threat protection. How do we stop at the front door those ransomware requests, that malware? Information protection. Are we encrypting our information at rest and in transit? And again, how do we safeguard your cross-cloud resources with things like Azure Sentinel? The ability to manage cross-cloud also became easier, again, underpinned by that enterprise-grade security. And one last thing that we'd encourage you to do, and with Insight's help, is look at your secure score. That's built into your Office 365 tenants, and that'll help you identify immediate areas of remediation you can do in your tenant to ensure that your tenant is far more secure and your end users are far more secure. And that's something, of course, Insight can help you with. And again, it provides a really great dashboard for you to take a look at. How many folks have MFA turned on? How many folks are running shadow IT, et cetera, et cetera. A great opportunity that's built into your service that allows you a sneak peek. And it also gives you recommendations on how you can actually strengthen your Office 365 security posture. So at the end of the day, this one slide gives you ideas on where, from a solution perspective, if you like to use the SKU words, I'm not a big fan, but you know, what components sit within Microsoft 365 and Azure that enable you to identify, to manage that identity and access, to manage the threat protection, information protection, and cloud security. And we're proud to be a part of an intelligence security association that we lead with security leaders across the world. That's the end of my presentation, Ryan. I'm hoping you're ready to come online and take it over. Of course, we're happy to take questions, whether it's in the river there on the Q&A, or if you want to come off mute for a moment. But I'll kick it over to Ryan now.
Hey guys, hopefully you can hear me here. So my name is Ryan Schellenberg. I've been with Insight for about 5 years now. And so I've been in the IT industry for 20 plus years now. And interestingly enough, this is my first webinar. So so please take it easy on the cyberbullying. But if you do have positive feedback, please leave it. Or any questions, please do leave it in the Q&A. So what I'm going to be doing today is going through a little demo and showing you some of the security policies that are available in the M365 suite, and we've implemented at many customers. And the specific setup that I'm going to be showing today is actually a replication of the policies that we recently implemented for a financial sector client. So this is something that was enterprise-wide, something that we worked with them on. There were some lessons learned for sure that we covered, but at the end of the day, they got a very secure environment that they were happy with. So here's the scenario. I've got a make-believe company that's called Daddy Daycare. And which, by the way, you may hear one of my 3 little clients running and screaming in the background and barging into my office. I also wanted to let you know that that my sign-on domain is ill.bz. Now, this is completely a coincidence. I'm not ill at the moment, but what I did like several years ago is I wanted to register the shortest domain name possible. So I was typing usernames again and again and again, and just wanted to find the shortest domain name possible. So yeah, ill.bz is my domain name. The user that we're going to be using, his name is Alex Weber, and he is an employee of Daddy Daycare. So Alex is like a lot of us right now, working from home, and he's got 2 computers at his house. And although everyone loves their corporate computer and the policies that may be on them, he also has a multiple monitor setup on his home computer that he would prefer to work on if possible. He does have his corporate computer at home as well, in case that he needs to use that. So to dig into the technology of the demo a little bit, so I've got an on-premise Active Directory that's synchronizing my identities to Azure Active Directory using password hash sync with single sign-on. So for those of you that aren't familiar with this synchronization method, basically there's an Azure Active Directory agent that's synchronizing the hashes of your users' Active Directory passwords to Azure Active Directory. So this isn't the passwords themselves, and I don't want to get too deep on this, but basically the hash that's stored in your Active Directory is encrypted, salted, re-encrypted, resalted about 1,000 times before it's sent to Azure Active Directory via this agent. Also, within Azure Active Directory, we have hybrid Azure AD join on our local Active Directory domain, which basically looks at all the Windows machines that are joined to the Daddy Daycare Active Directory domain and registers them in Azure Active Directory as a hybrid Azure AD joined machine. What this allows us to do is basically set up conditional access policies that are able to differentiate your domain joined computers, such as your laptops and workstations that you've been using at your office, and make that the differentiation between your home workstations. So what I'm going to show you is how we've set up some corporate policies to basically protect the data that's from actually leaving that corporate environment, but still allowing the flexibility of working from anywhere on any device. So first of all, let's share the screen on Alex's corporate machine. All right, and so I've kept this very corporate looking. And let's just sign on to office.com.
I think is this box is continuously connecting to the office, and you are in the office. There's no difference, so it's going to take way for you.
All right, so we sign right in there, and so because we have single sign-on configured, basically our credentials are passed right through there, so we're not prompted for usernames or passwords. It basically just knows who we are, and it passes through those credentials to Azure Active Directory.
Today to see
So
if we can get those boxes and what's the cost of them.
one thing I should note is that there is a Chrome extension that's required to be installed into your Chrome browser to pass through those Windows 10 credentials in a single sign-on experience. And so we can send out the exact link to that after the webinar. But yeah, just do note that within Chrome, that single sign-on experience is available. It just does require an extension that's installed into Chrome. So let's jump over to Alex's home machine. So as you can see, Alex loves cats, and he loves to personalize his desktop. So he's got his cute cat, Wilfred Warrior, that's on the background here. And on a side note, if you guys are interested in the story, there's this whole viral internet story about this cat, Wilfred Warrior. So if you're bored and in the future, do some Googling and you'll find some funny stuff on him.
Right.
So let's go to office.com from an unmanaged computer. So once again, this is a home computer.
And she could be our live answer person.
Oh, okay. All right. So then.
All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to sign into Office 365. And what I've got is a conditional access policy that's enforcing multi-factor authentication from any non-hybrid Azure AD joined computers. So basically, anything that wasn't joined to the corporate Active Directory domain is going to have Azure multi-factor authentication enforced. So we're going to authenticate using Alex's username and password. So what this is going to do now is enforce this in registering for MFA. So what you can't see right now is me on my iPhone. I have the Microsoft Authenticator app installed. I don't have anything configured on it for Alex. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to configure a new profile. So I've launched the app. I've clicked the plus symbol. I'm now going to choose a work or account on my iPhone. And what I've done here is I've actually configured my MFA security options to only receive notifications for verification. Now, out of the box, there are 4 different authentication methods that you can use for Azure MFA. You can use a phone call, you can use SMS, or you can enter the 6-digit code that's in your MFA app. Now, for ease of use and security, I always like to recommend that we, if possible, set it to only receive notifications for verification. It's easier for users when they only have one choice that they can choose, and basically they're prompted for approve or deny, and so it's fairly simple. So what I'm going to do now is click Setup,
it's terminated. So, but if she
and pull my phone up to the screen.
She can basically say, you know what, transfer it to extension, I don't know, 242, whatever, but 242 is actually forwarding to a cell phone. And then the person here could be at home receiving the call. The only thing that this person needs to do is to make sure that they keep up to date your status here so that she knows that they are.
Right now it's just checking to make sure that the app is all configured on the back end.
Seems workable.
If you want,
all right, so the mobile app has been configured for notifications. So once we click Next, basically what I'm expecting now, yeah, I see approved sign-in for Alex W at ill.biz, clicking Approve.
She could try transferring over to the extension, but she could tell to the customer,
and
hold on for like, I don't know, whatever, 10 seconds.
So you can stay signed in to reduce the number of sign-ins that you're asked, but for now I'm going to click No to not get signed in. All right, so now we're in. So now you can see that for anything that's not a corporate device, MFA is going to be enforced whenever you log in. So let's look at some of the differences between what the user experience is like in a corporate managed or a non-corporate managed device. So to start off with, let's go into OneDrive. So once again, this is on the corporate device, on the managed computer.
The Wave interface to monitor the queue, and is she used to using the physical?
She actually works reception too. So
all right.
I think it's using
Demo gods are having fun with me today.
Okay. All right. Well, we can. Well, then I think the very first thing that we can test is exactly this.
So something else that we can show
I
here.
can call her from outside, from my cell phone, and then the person who's going to be testing here, she's going to try transferring the number, transferring the call to the extension, and then we're going to have Because really, I mean,
while we're
people that are
opening
in
it
the
up
office,
here,
we
is
know
that
how it works.
you can see that we're able to open up the document in the app or the desktop app. So we can open this in the Word app.
And the person that's here, that
It'll open in Microsoft Word.
that is available to receive the call. If she does the transfer and then we have a forwarding here, is it actually going to work as we expect or not? Kind of just to test it out. And then it won't matter if they're in the office or not, because even if they're not in the office, they can still change their status.
Yeah. Okay. So
without
in Microsoft Word, we can kind of do anything we want from it. We can save a copy, we can print, we can share.
Over the VoIP client.
So if we pop over to the unmanaged computer and we go into OneDrive,
calls on your cell phone, right? Just so that she knows that they are either available or not.
oh, we're having fun today.
As you said, you know,
So this is on my home network, and I've been having internet issues here lately. So
she's not available.
let's see.
I'm not even going to try dialing, transferring the call
Let's
to
go
that
through
particular
here.
person because he's not available. Whether he's in the office or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's just not available.
Yeah. Is that is this our most practical?
So what we can see here is that your organization does not allow you to print, download, or sync using this device. And so we can't open in the Word app. And what we should be seeing when we go into the OneDrive web client is that we can see that open, we can see share, but we cannot see save or download as we should be able to see over in my on my corporate managed device here. So
figure out the details.
Right.
It would probably be
so next, let's show what the OneDrive Sync client experience is like. So on a corporate managed device, so what we've done is we've put in a security policy that is
Let's do it.
Restricts any OneDrive Sync client being installed on a desktop that is not domain joined. Sorry, you can install it, you just can't synchronize your corporate data. And so if we go here, we don't have to sign in right now.
Whether he's in the office.
I'm set up without a forwarding, so I could do the.
Oh, okay. Oh, we can do it with you. All right. Okay, well, actually, you already all set. So then, I'll go talk to her, and I'll let her know what we decided. Or if you want, you talk to her.
I'll let her know it's coming.
Okay. And then I will call our main line, and I'll ask her
Next.
to transfer the call over to your extension, and then we'll see what's going to happen.
Okay.
All right. In, let's say,
All right.
10 to
10 minutes. Let me go down and talk to Lori. Get her.
So what you can see now is that we've got the OneDrive configured here to sync to our domain, and we've got basically local copies stored here, so we can access anything through Microsoft Word using the apps that we're normally used to running. A neat little tip here too, in case anybody on the phone did not know this, is that you can also use the Sync client to sync SharePoint libraries to your local workstation. So what I like to do is, for any of the teams that I'm part of, and I'm not going to do a whole bunch in Teams right now, although I'm sure that many people are using it, or if they're not using it, they're interested in using it. So we'll continue assigning to Teams. So what we can do is we can actually sync these SharePoint libraries to be synchronized with our local workstation here. So once Teams logs in, we'll be able to take a look at that. Any questions so far? Portal here. All right, so let's go to the monthly reports. Once again, this is a workstation ran Hyper-V, so it's not the fastest of computers. So it looks like they're, in case the announcement didn't get out there, is that the media player window has to be put to full screen. So in case anybody can't see screen sharing that I've been doing for the last few minutes. In the meantime, while this is popping up, what I'll do is I'll show you what the OneDrive sync client experience looks like on a non-managed computer. All right, and so what we can see here is that we can't get to there from here. So basically it's telling us that, okay, we've got a policy that is not allowing you to synchronize your OneDrive sync client, which is a good thing if you're looking to protect your data from actually leaving your corporate state. So it looks like this finally loaded here. But what I was going to show you before is that within Teams, you go into a channel and you've got all your files here. And so if you'd like to keep a copy of that locally, so you're not having to constantly go in and out of Teams, what I like to do is press sync here. And what that'll do is just sync that SharePoint library that's on the back end of this Teams channel to your Windows Explorer. So what you'll be able to see is a local copy of all of those reports that were in the monthly reports channel. Yep. You can see here now is that we've got our sales and marketing monthly reports channel that is now synchronized here to our Windows Explorer, so we can modify, open up all those files as need. Okay, so let's pop into Outlook here. So once again, this is the managed computer, so our trusted workstation.
Hey, question. So can I send that email out?
Which one of the name?
The dual screen setup.
I didn't read it, but it works.
Yeah.
Because I thought there was another one that Christine was. So I sent you an invite.
So if we click on any one of these emails here, you can see that we can download files, we can reply to it.
New shared mailbox and send an invitation to you, so you get an email.
we can basically do anything that we want with this file. We can open it up in Excel.
Name is StormTech Master Calendar. So the whole idea is when you get this, is to click on the email.
Where this differs a little bit in the other portal for a non-domain joined portal is if we open up Outlook.
Once we prove that it works, then we'll send an email to everyone. Well, for that, the whole point of this calendar is they will be putting in this calendar when they're in the office and when they're working from home, and also when they go on vacation. But that's for everyone. So before we do so, we just wanted to test that. So I sent you this invitation.
So what we can see here is that our options are we can preview it or save it to our OneDrive. And so we can open up the file in a web browser and edit it. We can do anything that we want to. We just can't save it locally onto our desktop here. So why don't we see what this looks like.
So we want to test whether you actually do have edit permissions.
So
once you click on that link, it will take you to that calendar and whether you have the permissions to edit it or not.
So it doesn't even
So for this example, it's our Contosa purchasing data. So we'll edit and reply.
It's set up on the Alt 365.
Okay.
So yeah, the email looks like something like.
So what we can see here is that we've got a message that says this organization doesn't allow you to download or print attachments. Yep. And then we also see another policy tip that this email message conflicts with the policy in our organization. And so what it's actually talking about is that in this email, and I'm sorry if Garth Fort or Ann Wallace, if you're on the call here, and hopefully we're not sharing your real credit card information. But basically what we're seeing here is that we've got a data loss prevention policy that's put into place that's saying that if you see any corporate or credit card or debit card information, then set a flag that we are not allowed to send this out throughout the organization. So what it's detecting here is it's detecting some European debit or credit card information. So it's not allowing us to send that out. However, if we didn't have this information in here, so we can try to send this out, and it says basically this message includes one or more recipients who are authorized to receive this information. So it's not going to allow us to send this out. Now with DLP, you can tweak that, so you can say warnings that the user's going to override, and that's completely modifiable on your side of things. But just know that with data loss prevention, that's one of the aspects that you can configure to help prevent personal information, PII information, so passport, credit card, driver's license information, healthcare information. And so there's AI and machine learning on the back end that you can configure, so it'll automatically detect that as well.
The calendars, so
but for something like this, we can edit and reply, and doing that in line, you can edit the subject on the side, add TC, and you can all do this in line, fire it out.
Well, I mean, there's a good,
So
that's a good test. I'll see if I can edit it.
Right.
Let's hop over back to the manage application. So let's launch Outlook here.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The one I mentioned is like the one for conference. It's in there. Because basically, because I told users that it wouldn't work.
So that is detecting. Okay, yes, we're logged in as Alex
Oh, one of
W.
those?
Yeah, like this one.
No, we don't need to set this up in Outlook Mobile right now.
Should I send this to Vancouver or just specifically to the user? Just make the user
Oh, this is
And as you would expect,
to
it launches and it starts to cache everything and download everything from your Exchange
Oh,
Online
okay,
mailbox.
yeah. Well, one thing that I
Within Outlook, it's going to show you a similar
there's something that we must do.
similar experience that we showed within the OneDrive. So what we'll do is we'll
That
Alex
we
W.
use the bullet, bit resolution setting. I don't know if you have included
No, I didn't put it. That one.
this one, yeah. Lower it down to 16, because otherwise we'll be slow. And it would be significantly faster if you lower it down to 16 bit. So if, instead of 32 bit, it will be like 2 times faster because
Approval.
the quality of the screen, screen, because when it's 32 bit, the depth, the quality of the
So we get a similar information. Basically, you can't get to there from here because we are not hybrid Azure AD joined. So what you can do, so for my demo, I've locked it down to only hybrid Azure AD joined computers. However, what you can do is if it is compliant, so if your device is enrolled in Intune, then you can have that delineation where you can say, okay, if it's hybrid Azure AD joined or Intune enrolled. So that means that if you have, say, some of your autopilot machines that maybe aren't enrolled in a on-prem Active Directory, then yeah, you can still do that without having to have it fully hybrid Azure AD joined.
It's going to be very responsive. 22 bit.
So that
I'll just include the part about the card
obviously is not going to work. So Teams is going to be a similar end user experience. So what I will show you is in the Teams client.
But I always use this because, even on, it's true. For a person who's looking into the quality of the color, then that could be a deal breaker. But they can try, see the 16 bit is not as beautiful as the 32. That's for sure. Okay. But it's workable.
So I see a message from Scott McDonald. How much time in a week should a sysadmin or whoever handles the security expect to spend on Microsoft security solution? How do you see this saving time and simplifying or innovating the role? So basically, once you get a lot of these conditional access policies in place, I guess it's a bigger question. So depending on the licensing SKU that you choose, you can choose if you go up to the M365 E5 solution, so there's a lot of machine learning on the back end that's automatically protecting you. If you're going to the E3 SKU, then you put in a lot of these conditional access policies more manually at the beginning. But what you can do is you get reports at the end of every week saying that, okay, here's the risky sign-ins that you got, and here are some potential areas that you should look in. Also, as Jared mentioned, running the secure score is also going to give you a really good bird's eye view of like what your security posture is for your Office 365 tenant. And so running that once every week or two is going to give you an idea. Maybe there's some new recommended Microsoft approaches that they're now suggesting, or maybe there's some new things that you've actually changed within your Office 365 environment. So I guess it kind of depends on how focused that your specific company is focused on security.
Yeah, for those that want. Sure. Okay. Okay. Cool.
So if we go back to here, so once again, this is in the unmanaged computer. And so what you can do is also you can turn on desktop notifications. So it's very much like the Teams Thick App client where you're working away in Chrome, doing things, and then you see like a little pop-up in the bottom corner of your screen basically saying that so-and-so has sent you a message. So as you can see here, there's no option to download any files. The only files that you can open are you can open in Excel online, or you can open up in the Teams client. So this is not allowing you to download anything locally, or print or save or anything like that. So something that I wasn't able to demo very easily was the mobile device management policy. And so with a specific customer for, well, I won't say Daddy Daycare, but the actual project where we were implementing some of these security solutions, they were going back and forth between corporately managing it using like MDM and Intune, or going with the MAM policies. And so what they ended up doing is rolling out MAM policies. And so for those of you that don't know what MAM is, it's the mobile application management. So basically at that point, you're managing the application and not the device. And so what you can do is you can basically box each one of your Microsoft apps to protect your corporate data. So, so what that looks like is that you set up policies and you can configure on what you can move from one box to another. But if you were to open up Outlook Mobile, then what it looks like is that you can not copy and paste to any other application outside of your corporate application. So if you had signed into your iOS device with Outlook Mobile, and you'd sign into the Word on your iOS device and Excel on iOS device with your corporate credentials, what you can do is you can copy and paste between those different applications. But if there was anything outside of within that corporate ownership, you could not copy and paste. You could not share. You couldn't do any movement between that. And so basically what we needed to do, because they were an ActiveSync shop, like using ActiveSync with their iOS and their mobile devices. So we talked to them about like what the best way that they could secure their devices. And they made the decision that they were going to disable ActiveSync and only allow connections from the Outlook Mobile. So what that looks like is that when a user goes to sign in on an iOS device, they'll get a message. It's basically saying that your corporation has disabled ActiveSync and please download the Outlook mobile client. And you get an email in your mailbox basically saying that go download your Outlook mobile device and attach that. And so at that point, you're able to enforce all the conditional access policies, all the policies that you want, and you're able to keep it within the corporate infrastructure. So some of the other policies that you can put into place for the mobile application management are things like enforcing a PIN whenever you launch a corporate app. So say for Insight, whenever I launch the Outlook, they could have a policy that's saying that I need to enter in a 4- to 6-digit PIN whenever I want to go into my Outlook mobile device.
Yeah, no, I was just
some of the other things that you can control with that are stopping backup. So maybe you don't want your users to back up your OneDrive on your mobile device to your iTunes backup or your Android backup. So yeah, so that was how we managed the mobile devices for that specific organization, and I know that we have a lot of other companies that have gone that specific route as well. So the last thing that I did want to show here was the self-service password reset. So what I'm going to do here is, because I've already enrolled Alex into the self-service password reset, I'm going to show you quickly what it looks like for a user once they're forced to register for self-service password reset. So for those of you that don't know what self-service password reset is basically it gives the users the ability to log into Office 365 if they've forgotten their password, and they can reset their own password by activation methods. So, and they can do that without putting in a call to your service desk. So if we log in as Alex here, and say, I've forgotten my password. So it knows I'm Alex G, and I am the worst at entering these things, but let's see if I can do this right the first time. I know it shouldn't be difficult, but I never can tend to get it right. All right, so what it's saying is that it's going to choose a contact method, and so you want to have like some sort of a personal email address that's not your corporate email address that you can receive a verification code, or you can receive a text to your mobile phone number. So as I wait for that, code is. All right. Right, because I just changed my password today. It's not going to let me do it. However, if I didn't have that that policy in place, then it would allow me to enter my new password. And what would happen at that point is it would be synchronized back down to my Active Directory, and it would affect my local AD login. So this is for a user that has been enrolled, and basically what you can do if you want to stagger that rollout of self-service password reset out to your organization, then what you can do is you can choose which users you want to enroll in self-service password reset, and you can actually force them. So the first time they log in, they are prompted with a login to, they're forced to basically register for self-service password reset. And I'll show you what that looks like here. So basically what you need to do for it down here is set up an authentication phone and email. And once you basically set this up, so you set it up now, you put in your email address, it sends you a verification email or in your phone number, and then yeah, that's your basically your authentication method to get you set up and do your self-service password reset. So that was all that I had for my demo today. So apologies for some of the quirks that we ran into, but hopefully you got the gist of what this looks like. So just to go over some of the things that we showed you today. So we looked at Azure MFA and how we can basically enroll in Azure MFA and how we can set up different conditional access policies to enforce MFA. So whether it's a trusted or untrusted computer. We set up some conditional access policies that would block downloads of attachments from OneDrive and SharePoint. We've also configured a similar policy within Exchange Online that would stop you from downloading applications and attachments from non-managed computers. We also showed you what data loss prevention could look like as far as users sending out information that should not be shared, like the personal, the private information such as credit cards, passport information, ID, that sort of thing. We talked about the mobile application management and how we've configured that, and once again, I wasn't able to show you what that looks like in real time, but it is a pretty slick technology. And finally, we showed you what the self-service password reset looks like. And yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to go through just because I had already reset my password today. But that would have synchronized down, and my Active Directory credentials would have been reset, and I would have been once again off to the races. So we've got a couple minutes left here in the webinar. So Jared, I wanted to kind of ask you just a couple of questions with a couple of minutes left. What are you starting to see as far as like what's trending in the corporate environment, and where are you starting to see companies go from Microsoft's perspective? Maybe we've lost.
Okay, yeah. Hey, sorry, Ryan. I was just coming off mute there. What we're seeing in this space in particular is identity as sort of the new security plane. It's absolutely important that things like Azure Active Directory, and any of the syncs, are up to date and the policies are set, because that's the linchpin for any attack these days is leveraging weakness in identity. And there's some simple things that you can do. Obviously, manage your Active Directory pretty diligently. Turn that multi-factor authentication on. But the attack surface is becoming far, far greater and larger. So we have to make sure that at least the front door is covered, and that's where it starts is with identity.
Right. And really trusting that the back end on to protect you. So I think Microsoft has like 3,500 or 4,000 people that are just focused on security like full time and managing that environment. And that's just the things that they can manage, like not to mention leveraging the machine learning and all the big data and the AI on the back end to try to stop these breaches.
Yeah, our security operations center does have about 3,500 folks in it, and we've been in the game quite some time. We like to say we're the world's largest cybersecurity vendor that nobody knows about. But you'll recall in the presentation we are leaders in 5 of those Gartner Magic Quadrants. And what we do is we take our trillions of signals, and what I mean by that is we have trillions of sign-ins, whether it's through our Xbox property, whether it's through our commercial properties like Azure Active Directory. So we see those trillions of signals, and we're learning at every moment with our machine learning and Azure intelligence services on the back end to sort of predict where the next thing may come and to shut it down before our customers are even aware it took place. So we're pretty happy about that. We're pretty proud. There's ways to go, and the key is Ryan is staying ahead of the nefarious properties out there trying to get into your systems.
Right. So, so I guess just in closing here, we've got about 2 minutes left, and I just wanted to say that if there was anything that I covered today or didn't cover today that you'd like to speak further about, then please reach out to your Microsoft or your Insight sales rep. And they can line up a conversation, and whether it's with myself or anybody on my team, or potentially Microsoft as well. So yeah, please feel free to reach out, and we can line you up and hopefully get you going in the right direction. So with that, I hope that everybody has a safe rest of their day and be well, and yeah. Thank you very much for joining the webinar today.
And thank you, Ryan, and to everybody, and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jared.